And here we go. I remember somewhere seeing on PBS or something, like it was a documentary, some sort of fantasy future thing, or something like that, when the computers were coming out. It may have been in the 80s, it may have even been made before that. Seems like it was in black and white, but they were saying in the future, all children will be learning from home on computers, selling it, you know. And just like that one about Euphoria and Urban Yay, where they said that machines were going to be doing everything, and yeah, nobody had to work, forgot to. But it showed all these kids, and they were, and it's like, wow. That was before we had personal computers. I saw that, and I was like, that's interesting. And all of a sudden, like right here, in one of these little things that the local community sends out to us to make us responsible recyclers, because nobody ever fucking reads them. They just either into the recycle bin. If you don't do that, you're a bad person, or you start a fire with it. You're not such a good person. You're supposed to recycle. Oh, you're forcing me to. This is just something I can fucking burn. But it says there, schools shuttered again. Shuttered. Like bang, bang, bang. I was just wondering about putting boards on the windows last week. Schools shuttered again as COVID rears ugly head. Rah! You know, gosh. So, I'm saying, you know, here we are. We're reaching that point where it's like every child will be learning from home. Yeah, gotta keep them away from each other. And here we are. They've given the kids their own devices that they can do their schoolwork on after they'd already been using their own for a while, or their parents, their cell phone, or anything like that. And they've had passwords, their own email account for school only for the longest time already. It's like a social security number to any of us. It's just something you get and it's yours. And then they give the devices, and they've got firewalls in place, and they say, you know, don't join groups with somebody because you don't know who's looking, and things like that. All this stuff, you don't know who could be looking at you. And they've given all this out. So all the kids are on computers at home now, just like in the future. And the thing is, the way I understand it, from a reliable source, any electronic device these people have been on, these students using it for schoolwork, logging into their school email, is touched. And it's all in a network. Now, like when we were in school, looking through a locker, they can't just do it. There's supposed to be privacy. But if you could be a threat to you or someone else, they could do it without your permission. Like the one guy I was in high school with, he brought a pistol to school one day. Ah, you know, he had it in his locker, and they made him open it because he was showing kids, you know, look at my pistol. And everybody's like, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I got a pistol. And they went into his locker, and, you know, he got suspended for 3 days. He was suspended for 3 days. And I don't think anybody really even thought that was unfair. I don't even know if he thought he was unfair. But he didn't have his whole life ruined and expelled and imprisoned or whatever because he had a pistol in his locker. Suspended for 3 days. He didn't kill anybody. He never even threatened anybody. And I see him at class reunions a couple times over the years, and he's still just the nicest guy in the world. He just had a pistol. He's like, look at this fucking thing. Who doesn't want to hold a pistol? Yeah, you hold a pistol, it puts a weight in your hand. There's some kind of power that just goes right to it. It's an extension of power, and some people need that kind of power. So it's just a pistol. But if you had a pistol in your locker today, holy crap. You know, the way things have gone in the past 20 years, 30 years, you're done. So that's the way the program was before with the students' IDs. If you were to say something you might hurt you or someone else, there was a computer-generated thing picking up things like the YouTube does. If you say something that's too much, it says, hey, shut up. There's a computer-generated program that catches key phrases and words. And then they can look into your accounts as is necessary. That's the way it was. But now this thing that's just come out today, they don't even need that. They're in your shit already. Every electronic device you've been hooked up to, they can just look and see what your history is, where you are, what you're looking at, what browsers are on, and they can tell you without even telling you. You don't even know they're looking at you. They can tell you, cut it out, and bring everybody in, and they look at you. They look at your whole screen, and if they can look at your screen, I'm sure they can look through a little image. After being so careful to get these special computers to people, it's still spread all over. Anybody, they can fucking look. Go, go, Guardian. Gophers, go, go, go. Go, go, Guardian. Gophers, watch them. Watch us. Grow, grow, grow. They can watch all the kids. So they're even looking at the parents' stuff. As I said before, Big Brother is us, but it goes beyond that now. It was before the idea of Big Brother being us, is we've all got cameras and we're filming everybody and putting it out there, and everybody's being looked at and going, I didn't know I was being filmed. But now it's gone to Big Brother is us, is that we're accepting of it. We say, okay, anytime you talk about Big Brother, it's a conspiracy theory type thing. 1984, George Orwell. Very good writer. Anytime you say anything about it, there's that total certain twinge of conspiracy theory, which I don't think is a bad thing. Anybody that's got a theory about the conspiracy that's going on, they're probably on to something, at least to a certain degree. But in Big Brother, if you've ever read it, there are TV monitors in every room, on every wall, Very few places you had any personal privacy of feeling like you were just by yourself. You didn't have to think about who's looking over your shoulder. You can just be. They had monitors all over, and here it is. Here it is. They're on your parents' phone. They're on your school computer. They're on your personal computer. They're on anything you've ever touched in an attempt to do your homework. And they can look at your stuff. If your email's up, when they look at it without telling you they're about to look, they can read your email. And, well, certainly it's only supposed to be for school, but it doesn't take much in regular personal conversation about school to find out who somebody is. And so now you've got all these teachers. They're not all bad, but some of them are. It's a natural state of history that teachers have been impregnating students for years, except, back, if it's a boy, he's not going to get pregnant, but they've been having to do it from afar, these perverts. And I will say it, perverts, perverted, demented, twisted in a sexual way. They used to be harder for them. They used to have to sit back at the side of the lunchroom and watch the girls talk and listening while they're not looking and knowing what they found interesting. And then they'd come up, when they had some personal time, and they would talk about the same things. And what person doesn't like to hear somebody talk that agrees with them? And they feel, we're so much alike, because they haven't seen the evil that men do. And they feel special, and they think that it was a special time. And turns out guys just doing it 1 year to the next, one grade to the next. He's done with you. Who's next? What year is it? There were teachers impregnating people. There have been superintendents. There have been, all these people that you're supposed to trust, and they can all look at everything. Our children have in their lives from afar. They can look at it, and it takes less time. All they got to do, they can even just start texting them and saying, yeah, I wanted to talk to you about a class or something. And it's like, they're moving on them, dumping them off, leaving them all screwed up, because for once in their life they felt special. And that's the worst lesson you can ever get, is to think you're special, and then to find out that somebody believes you are, and then find out they just use that to take advantage of you. And so the rest of your life, you can never really feel special again, because the next jackass coming along that tells you you're special is just trying to get in your pants. And you can say, it's not all of them. It's not all of them. And it isn't. But now you're giving those that are, that small percentage, the chance to hurt you, maybe even kill you in the long run, depending on how you feel about the whole situation. You can say, that's going too far too, but no. Even the doctors, I was listening to the doctor radio today, they're talking about aspirin and the COVID thing, and how effective it is for certain things, but they would not tell everybody just go take aspirin. They talked about how it had been around for thousands of years, and it wasn't until the 1800s by a German company named Bayer. They found the active ingredient, and they did their pharmaceutical thing with it, put it out as aspirin, and then made it generic, and it's over the counter. And so these doctors are like, it's over the counter. People think it's safe, but it's a very, very valuable medicine. It's very potent. You can OD on it. If you're one of these people that has bleeding prone, whatever, you could bleed out because it's a blood thinner. You cut yourself. They said, we highly, highly recommend, do not just go start taking aspirin because you think you're going to beat the COVID. You need to see your medical physician. You need to see your doctor to find out if it's right for you. And so, because a small percentage of people could die from it. They could be hurt really bad and all that. And we act like it's okay. That it's not even the Jetsons. It's Big Brother. Big Brother schooling system. That they can just look at all of us, any electronic device, and if they can do that, and they didn't even tell them. They didn't even tell them that this was happening until today, and it was already happening. How long's it been going on? You have somebody looking at your phone because somebody else was on it, and who knows? Let's go back to the teachers. There's a guy I went to Amsterdam with, that went with me to Amsterdam. There was a group of us, and it was like we're going to do whatever the hell we want. One guy wanted to eat space cake. There was a sex show involved, a live sex show, which was actually, it was very respectable and fun. And there were some old women that came up to my friends and me afterwards and said, we saw you on the plane. There were old white women just, having a good time in the live sex show. And they weren't in it. It was just a theater. And it was small theater, small venue. But everybody was having a good time. Even the people on stage. It was a big joke. There was a woman in a grill outfit with a big thing, and just fun. So then there was the one guy that was in college to be a teacher, and he was going for junior high, and the thing that he said he wanted to do was see young girl sex movie, and we're like, what? And so we found this multiplex that had just all kinds of different sex movies in it. That's a whole nother story. But this guy, if you ever doubt that perverts are becoming teachers, what he wanted to do was go see a young girl, which it turned out it was probably a 27-year-old woman dressed up like a 16-year-old, but he wanted to see 16-year-olds porn. And you want this guy hanging around your kid looking at everything they're doing all along. It's just not right, man. I mean, there's stuff to be said. Go, Guardian, Gophers, go, grow, go. If there's anything that people should be protesting right now, it's letting them into our homes, letting them into our lives. These kids right now, especially the elementary school kids, they're growing up into a big brother society, which, of course, I'm not doing anything wrong, but everybody slips. There's the comedian that talks about, not everybody, how many of you here have had a drunk driving ticket, and you hear him, and he says, not everybody gets a drunk driving ticket, but we've all been eligible at some point or another. You have to accept that you're going to slip. Even if it's not illegal, you might slip away from your moral standards for a moment, and somebody's looking. You got to be able to step away from your own moral standards every once in a while. You just don't need to make a habit of it. Otherwise, you don't have any. But you have to be able to step away from them every once in a while as the situation arises that you need to get around it. Don't let the schools into our lives, because the schools, the teachers that don't think it's a problem that they can look at us any moment of the day, they're sharing that with other people. And what that means is that school is a part of something that just wants you to be nervous all the time and to comply. The school is a medium for that which wears the big boot and holds us down. Here we go.